Good morning or afternoon. Midway through implementing AI usage for the new TS Circuit snippet site because the AI is currently broken on our site. So if I pull this up, snippets.tscircuit.com, and if you do something with AI, so make me a blinking LED circuit, or you click one of those buttons, it says an error occurred. And this is because we don't have rate limiting on the AI, so I didn't feel like I could release the AI because, yeah, for like a bunch of reasons. That's not even the only reason. Like, we also don't want like uh, to hard code an Anthropic API key into the browser. So what I'm doing is using a proxy. So you can still use the Anthropic SDK on the browser, but I'm using a proxy that detects your user account and like does some stuff to make sure it's good. So anyway, suffice to say, we're gonna be trying to get this AI page to work, and we're also going to be tracking usage, and we might even, I'd love it if I could display the monthly usage for a user here. So a little bit of the schema is written, but this is mostly from scratch. Yeah, lots of fun stuff. AI is going to be doing a ton of it. This is kind of a rare stream. This is this won't be reposted on the TS Circuit blog. Our server stuff is mostly closed source. And the reason for that is like just this specific backend. And the reason for that is I don't like to open source a lot of logic for authentication and stuff like that, or admin pages or anything like that. But I will show them. I just don't like open sourcing it because people might look for exploits and stuff like that. And I release community versions of this API. So it's not about, it's like a little bit of security through obscurity, but it's mostly just like common sense stuff. Like the only person who can use this API is somebody who would like try to compete with our registry, like not, and that's like probably not people building foundation companies. So, but it's not really competition. It's more security through obscurity. It's just to give us a little bit of time since we're so early stage. Anyway, that all said, let's get going. I don't have chat up yet, so let me get chat up too. Okay, chat is up. Sorry if you sent a message in the past like 10 minutes. Cool. Excellent. Let's close this. We got this going. All right. Cool. So what I've implemented so far is I have this table AI API call, and we're just tracking some of the data around the API call. And then we associate it with an org. How the TS Circuit backend works is there are orgs, and the orgs can be like personal orgs. So like just your handle, call that a personal org, or it can be like a larger GitHub organization, but it's all kind of GitHub based. And then I have this table to compute the monthly costs. So I'm going to do a couple things. Let's boot up our AI here. And I'm going to have it make some pages, some admin pages for seeing the monthly usage. So let's see, what's this called? Let's say on the make /admin /AI API call /list, and yeah, it's really the only one we need. Yeah, let's just start there. So we're asking it to build out our admin panels for this. How do I visit this? I think it's at localhost 300. 3000. Cool. So this is like our little admin panel. Although kind of seems broken. Error code, internal server error. Create new file, yes. Okay, so we generated a new admin page. We'll check that out in a second. Oh, I don't have Postgres running. Okay, Postgres is now running. So if I do bun start, and we're testing, we want to, we have a Next compatible. We use WinterSpec, which is a Next compatible API framework, but we don't have to run it with Next. I'm going to explicitly run it with Next, and I'll show why. We're like proxying requests to Anthropic, and so we have to use some Next.js streaming APIs. Anyway, let's see how it did here. I think it didn't update the index file. So update the admin index file to access the AI API call / list. Page. For a lot of backend projects, the structure is so standard, AI is able to contribute. So I'm mostly just waiting on AI. I don't even really need to check its work. It's just going to do it. I'll like stand here being a PM for a while. It's funny because normally I would like file these issues and like, oh, I don't know. Maybe auto refresh is broken. Let's see. Oh, this is interesting. Let's try starting it without Next and see what happens. Oh, there's tons of issues. Column reference org ID is ambiguous. Okay. Yeah, we had a bunch of ambiguous references here. Those are all fine though. Okay, let's try again. Wow. AI API call org ID must appear in the group by clause. Oh, yeah. I like having views. There's a trick to this. It's great to have views that do computations like this automatically, but never do a foreign key on them. That's the hard lesson. You're like spending all this time on views and you're like, oh, views are great. And then you do a foreign key and it becomes very difficult to keep them updated. Okay, column get org.github handle must appear. Okay, sure. Anything in the select must appear in the group by. Nice. All right, so now we've migrated. And I guess the port is different. React is not defined. Wow, we got a lot of chaos happening. So one thing I hate about Next.js is it automatically sets JSX to preserve whenever you run it, and I always have to undo it. Anyway, this should work now. Okay, so now we can see our AI API calls. So now let's get this working with Next. And hopefully Next doesn't rewrite, whoops, my tsconfig again. Oh my gosh, so annoying. Stop Next from overriding tsconfig with JSX preserve. Let's see. Oh, you can extend it for different cases. Hmm. So most people separate into multiple TS configs. That's a bit annoying. Hmm. Yeah, so it looks like we would want to use a separate configure TS config for Next.js. Let's see if we can like tell Next.js to use a specific. Let's ask Claude. How can I get Next to use a different TS config? Okay. Oh, you can literally specify it. Yo, what up, Copy Multi? I'm doing pretty good. Just trying to get snippets working. I've never used this feature, so I'm not 100% sure I'm doing it right. This just bugs me that Next comes in here and changes this every time. All right. We have to configure the package JSON to use this. Okay. Unknown option TS config. All right, so Claude just hallucinated that. Next.js use custom TS config. I don't know if this is possible. Let's see if we can do it from the next config. That would be even better if we could. Ooh, no types, but they're also saying we can use next.config.ts. Let's run lots of experiments. I don't want to spend too long on this because it's not like real work. Let's see. Do they have this? All right. We're going to learn some stuff about Next.js. Oops, next.config.ts. Okay. So you import the type. Okay. That's not how everybody does it, but that's fine. Yeah, and then we export default next config. Okay. Oh, it's complaining about this, but we know this works. Is that it? Let's see if it's an easy fix. Otherwise, that's still not working, man. I don't know. I don't like what's going on here. But now I have autocomplete. So let's see. TS TypeScript. TS config path. Cool. All right, there we go. And then I guess I'll just undo this for now because for some reason it doesn't like this rewrites. Or I could TS ignore these rewrites. That's probably the best option. Okay, cool. All right, stop overriding my stuff. Start next. Unknown option. Oh, right. We're going to remove it from here now. Cool. Configuring Next.js via next.tsconfig is not supported. Maybe it's a new thing. You know, Next.js, it got a little complicated at some point. And then we could use MJS maybe. Actually, I don't think we need to. Yeah, it's very complicated, and that's how it goes with convert to JS. Yeah, there we go. Add a type comment here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now we should get autocomplete. Yeah, so it's kind of like the best of both worlds. Yeah, Next.js, when you support all those enterprise customers, it can be really tough to move forward. Also, Next.js on Vercel is completely dependent on AWS because it uses the Lambdas. And so I was looking at it. They run the latest version of Node they run is Node 20, which is like, okay. You are at the behest of AWS. Hopefully AWS moves fast enough because Node 20 is quite old at this point, right? It's years old. Luckily, like, Node development slowed down a little bit, so there's not that many new things. But when like Node gets TypeScript support where you can just run TypeScript in Node, it's going to be like everybody is going to want that version. You can already start doing it with a flag, I think, in Node 22. Maybe you can do it in Node 20. I don't think so, though. All right, it's being treated as an ES module because there's a JS extension. Blah, 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 package JSON. Oh, oops. That's just bad AI. Bad AI. Nice. Now we're talking. No more overwrites. That was a pretty annoying issue. Okay. Nice. Okay, and our admin panel is working, so that's good. Something I want to check up on is I think I need to migrate. Yeah, reset this database. Okay, cool. And then let's create an account. Okay. Why am I not seeing the new page? I guess I have to build. Okay, AI API calls latest 100. We don't have any in there yet, so let's make an API call. I have a little script to do it. Unfortunately, streaming APIs, I have no idea how to test. And like I really want to ship, but streaming APIs, from what I've looked into, seem really hard to test. Because you like the way I package a server might not support streaming because it's like different people have different ways of implementing streaming. Bun has different levels of support, etc. So like, yeah. Anyway, we're gonna do like this is all to say we're gonna do some manual script style testing, just kind of janky. And there's a bunch of disclaimers on the files like this isn't well tested. I don't know why it's not auto-completing. Anthropic proxy.ts. Okay. I'm also going to be checking for code reviews from Hacktoberfest at some point. I think some came in. I think I saw some notifications. I do have this one. This one got merged. All right. So we don't have any active ones right now. I'll also pull up the Discord, I guess, because people may post there as well on Review Me. Cool. Okay, we got a 500 error. Good, good. Not found is not a valid JSON stack. I don't know what's going on. All right. So this makes a request to 3000/Anthropic, which we have covered with this special edge function that proxies to the Anthropic SDK. Oh, this is the issue. I haven't implemented these yet. And then this one we also need to comment out. Okay. Because we're literally going to implement those in a minute here. I forgot where I left off last night. Literally did this as I was falling asleep. Okay, cool. Let's rerun this. Oops. Maybe we have to restart our server too. Okay. All right, unsupported model. Unsupported model. These models are super hard coded. Okay. So allowed models. I do have to add like OpenAI support to this eventually, but it's just a lot to think about all at once. And I use Claude all the time. It's pretty good. I think O1 preview will do really well on this later, but I don't know. It's a lot to think about. Okay, so now we've got our list of allowed models. So we're going to say if not allowed models includes. Okay, let's run this again. Nice. All right. So some weird stuff. This is printing. I was debugging, so this is printing all the chunks. Streaming is tough. It's tough to test. And it doesn't, it's like, it's all about UX. Streaming is all about UX. I realized if you don't stream in the response, users get like bored. They don't know what's happening. So you have to stream in the response, especially while AI is slow. So that's the only reason I'm doing it. Anyway, we can see the streaming works because of how this like kind of incrementally fills in. So that's good. But we're not currently recording it into the database for AI usage. So that's kind of the next thing to do. Yeah, so nothing is being inserted into the database. So let's do that. Okay. So real quick, I'm just gonna, let's actually just do a quick checkpoint. Fix, next config, add API page for AI API call. I really want to see the monthly usage on the admin panel. That'll be really sweet, but to get there, we need to insert stuff to the database, right? So let's boot up Aider. Ooh, new version of Aider. Read only. Oh, nice. Supports globs, sanity checks. Cool. I need to try out the new architect model. I haven't really tried it. I don't need it for my stuff, I think. I think my stuff is really easy for the AI. Okay. Let's add lib, routes, introduce. Let's actually add. I just had another idea. Okay. I want to kind of set up the AI for success here. So we have this commented out method, internal AI usage. This should be AI API call, update. So that's good. see. And then here, this is where we check for allowed usage. So it's like, wow, I don't know what resource you would consider this on. Let's say account. Or no, it's org. Get allowed usage for org. We don't know what this object will be yet. Okay. Fix commented out names. Okay, so just setting that AI up for success. Let's add lib routes, pages. Implement with internal auth. Middleware. Implement /internal/org/get allowed usage. Implement. This is going to be tough. /internal/AI API call/create and internal/AI API call/update. Okay. With internal auth middleware that uses process.m.internal registry API key or 1 2 3 4 if not defined. Yeah, hopefully it can infer accepts JSON body with provided session token as a parameter. Just kind of giving it hints. This one should be obvious. Okay. This is a pretty tall order. This is going to cost like 20 cents. And now we wait. Looks okay. It's not perfect. Calculate cost. Ooh, I like that. How do you calculate costs? Claude, how can I compute Anthropic API costs given the input tokens, the output tokens, and the model? Lots of changes. It's all over the place. It's uncommenting all this code. Go for it. All right. Wow. Applied edit to with winner spec. So it added internal auth. And then it implemented internal auth. Okay, cool. That looks good, actually. Internal auth is really simple. Let's see what else we got. AI API call update. Update table AI API call. Computes internal cost. Well, this is weird. eb.val calculate cost. What the heck? Why is it why is it writing it in this insane way? Calculate cost. eb.val calculate cost. This is insane. What is this? Value calculate cost function. Also, we have a bunch of any types here, which is super concerning. So I don't know why we have any types. lib/with winner spec. Oh, is it an issue with the TS config maybe? I don't know. This should work. Yeah, there we go. Okay. This is crazy though. What is going on? Calculate cost. I've never seen this. Expression builder. And it's all being anycast, so I have no idea what's going on. Internal cost USD expression builder. I think what it's doing is like getting the I mean, it almost looks like it's converting this function into a SQL function, which is insane. So I can't imagine that that's what's happening. That would be an incredible feature for Keasley. Oh, Keasley's docs are bad. Let's see. Expression builder. So far, I do not see anything like that. Reusable helpers. Conditional expression. Yeah, I don't think so. That would be insane if it had this feature. It's such a cool feature. So we're going to simplify this. I'm just going to come out. This is cool, though. Calculate costs. Let's see what Claude said. How do I calculate costs? Is there an NPM module that helps with this? I don't want to write. I don't want to, like, store it. AI utils, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, nice. Wow, that's super simple. Okay. NPM AI utils. Let's see if that's hallucinated. Oh. Why does it look like it's hallucinated? No. Oh, this has a lot of downloads, though. Provider utils, implementation utils. I don't know why I didn't use Vercel's SDK since I'm deploying this on Vercel. Base URL, API key, headers. Yeah, we need to do custom headers in a minute. This would have probably been a better way to do this, but whatever. I wrote like a chunk parser. Yeah, I didn't realize. Oh well. Vercel, since it's so complex, it doesn't have like the same level of trust right now. There's so much complexity. So like depending on where you are as a company, it can make sense because like you can buy into the Vercel ecosystem, but there's no usage documentation on these. Well, we don't need a tokenizer because we have convert. Oh, man. Let me just double check. Super confirm. AI utils. Yeah, I don't know. Seems to not exist. Oh, it does exist, but it has nothing. It'd be cool if the costs were built into this SDK. Different ways of using Claude. Is there a way to compute costs with Anthropic API? We're using the new GitHub Copilot tool. It does not contain anything for computing costs. I don't know. Maybe I'll just hard code it for now. That is annoying, though. Okay, so $3 per million. Oh, we're gonna have to hard code so much of this. Isn't Opus worse than Sonnet? Yeah, I don't know why people use this. I guess it's just for legacy purposes, but probably everybody should migrate. I don't know why you would use Opus. Supposedly there's going to be a new Opus. Hard to know who to bet on. I think most people don't bet on anything. They just like use the generic approaches, but I just want to use one to simplify things. I don't want somebody in the middle right now. It's just more to think about sometimes. All right. Okay, so we can hard code these. You know what's funny is Haiku is actually more expensive than I thought. I thought Haiku was so cheap, but it's only, what is this, like a 12th? A 12th as much as Sonnet, so it's actually kind of expensive. It's very fast, though, so I like that. Yeah, it's only like a 12th. All right. Cons, model costs. This can accept input tokens too. Optional, default. Yeah, we'll just do optional. Okay, AI API call ID, cool. So the difference in how we're going to do this is yeah, we're basically going to do that. I think we have a helper for this, ctx.error. Yeah. Error code message, cool. Okay. Maybe I'll require both of these out of laziness. Let's see. It's saying no overload matches this call. I might need to regenerate my schema. Said our types are good. You can say hi to stream. I turned on the mic. Okay. Not gonna say hi to stream. Wow. Okay. Hmm. I feel like there's some confusion with my database client here. Main API call ID. It's having trouble finding my table. This has a generated schema, so what is going on? AI usage initial up. I think that's where I introduce it. This is all back-end development, you know? AI API call. Oh, interesting. AI. No, that's right. Okay. Something failed to generate. Numeric / decimal columns. Yeah, that's fine. Is this just like type delay? All right, so we've got structure, main, tables. We've got our table was generated. So what we're waiting on is the Zapdos types. Is this literally just like TypeScript being slow? I think it's just TypeScript being slow. AI, API, there it is. Oh my gosh. It's all just TypeScript being slow. All right. Let's add model here too. Let's just like be the ultimate version of lazy and require everything. Then we don't need to get it. We still kind of need to get it to verify it exists. Okay. It's an internal endpoint, so I don't care about great API design as much. It's not as important. Okay, we'll calculate the costs. And then we need to finish this thing. I would really like it if we had good types on this. So let me see. How can I extract? Let's see if we can get some types out of here. Model, no. Human prompt. Okay. Let's see, Anthropic. I think the Anthropic type might have some stuff we can use. Get the get an not an enum, a string union of all the models from the Anthropic SDK as a type. The Anthropic SDK's types are like kind of meh, but not that great. Yeah, model type doesn't exist there. This is gonna be tough. They should really export this. So an instance of Anthropic has this code is so much. Oof. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out, okay, how is this used so that I can do the type extraction? So Anthropic messages create and then model. So we can do a really big type here to get this out. So messages, and then we can do create, and then we have to get the parameters of this. So we do parameters, then we do that, and that should give us the models. There we go. So yeah, it's janky, but you know, that's just how it is. Sometimes TypeScript is a second-class citizen. Yeah, input cost per token. Yeah, that's good. And then output cost per token. Yeah. And then we just can autocomplete these. So we're using this version of Sonnet, I think. We'll insert that. Yeah. Okay. let's look at the docs. Okay, so 3 per 1 million. So $3 per 1 million, which is 186. I guess I need to. I'm not streaming for super long, so I'll probably not announce this on the Discord. I'm doing a mini stream. 15 1e6. Okay, so there's our cost. And then we'll do our output cost. Is that right? 0.25. And then this one is 1.25. Okay, cool. Woof. We can make this a partial record to get around that type issue, I think. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If not model costs, I don't like the idea of returning 0 for model costs, but I guess I'll do it. If somebody uses a model I didn't put in here, it'll appear as 0. Maybe we should do a default. If not model costs, let's do this. If not model costs, we'll return the most expensive model we have. Turn most expensive model in the case of missing model. Why is it saying model cost is undefined? Let's do that. Okay. All right, cool. The other weird thing is this calculate cost is all defined kind of inside of an endpoint. So let's move that to the library folder. Say calculate cost. And we'll move all of this out into there. I think calculate cost is fine. Or let's say calculate AI cost. And then eventually we'll add OpenAI, assuming that they get competitive models sometime in the future. Nice. Okay, cool. We could type this a little bit. We could say model is an Anthropic model. Yeah, cool. Whoops. Import it. God. Hate when auto import doesn't work. There we go. All right, cool. And that's it. Okay, let's look at the create here. Nice, looks good. Okay, yeah, the AI was a little weird. Trying to implement calculate cost in 2 points. Sounds like a terrible idea, especially for stuff like this. But that looks pretty good. That's pretty simple. Okay. I like it. Do we have everything we need for this to run? Okay, so right now on message start, it creates the API call. I actually think that's going to slow down the feed, and then at the end it updates it. So this is like definitely a place where somebody could kind of like increase costs, but I'm just going to create it at the end. I think it'll be a little bit easier from a speed standpoint. Okay, CTX auth personal org ID. Is that going to work? That's not going to work. We don't have access to that auth object. We don't have access to the org ID. We need to get the org ID from this endpoint, which we haven't even looked at yet. Get allowed usage. Let's take a look. Did it implement it? Get allowed usage. Okay. What is get env? Oh, I guess we have that. Allowed usage, max tokens, max request. Okay, so this returns the amount of, I think, money can make requests, C boolean, and we're gonna call this internal allowed usage. So we use the AWS top level key convention, which is where you always have a top level key. Can make AI API calls. We'll say can make more. Or is allowed to make more AI API calls. Super specific. Used budget. Or monthly. Used monthly budget. Ordering words is hard. Monthly budget, that's good too. I think that's everything you need. Oh, the org ID. We're going to automatically do that just to save a round trip. Oops. Bad paste. There we go. Okay. So we decode the JWT. The session token returns an account ID. Where do we create the session token? Session/create. What's inside of here? Session ID, GitHub username. We don't put in the org ID, which makes sense because I guess they could be part of multiple orgs. Let's say personal org is equal to ctx.db. Where is personal org is true, and where owner account ID is the decoded account ID. Okay, so now we have their org. And we can also get their monthly used budget. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to not do a lot with this at the moment. Actually, should we? It's not too hard. So we could do inner join. I don't know if the views will show up on here. Why is this getting any cast? It's weird. Our inner join here is not, doesn't have our tables, which makes life very difficult. But anyway, we should be able to join on that monthly usage view. Yeah, this one. Should be able to join on this. I guess we'll do it in a second, just to make our lives easy. This is pretty good. This should mean we can now create API usage calls. So I don't know if I need to change anything. Let's just run our test file. Okay, failed. Impossible to read error. Let's see if the server error is better. Bunch of 500 error, syntax error, org ID inside of this file. Okay. Any path. Syntax error, my favorite type of error. Okay, cool. So this is now in the response. Internal allowed usage. So that's what I called it, right? We don't have the best type transfer. Get allowed usage, internal allowed usage, org ID. Okay. I think it's going to work. Let's try that again. I'm trying to parse the error. It says not found is not valid JSON, unexpected token. I think I need to rebuild because there's new endpoints introduced. This is the jank, because normally I don't use Next.js. I have to use Next.js because I need access to the streaming responses. Hence the jank. Okay, different error. Looks a little different. Oh, this is so hard to parse. Reference error. Allowed usage is not defined. I should run type check on this stuff. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So it worked. Let's go to our admin panel. And if I refresh this, oh, we don't see any new AI API calls. Oh, it's disappointing. Why don't we see it? Haiku, spring breeze in the air, petals dance. That's irrelevant. I don't know why I'm reading that. So we get allowed usage. Let's just throw in some logging. Oh, wait. Unhandled rejection cannot read properties of undefined reading org ID. Is that old? Or is that... Yeah, the other thing that's really weird is like, honestly, this should be on Cloudflare because Cloudflare has support for Postgres clients inside of Workers. But since it's on Vercel, I'm making internal calls to other Vercel functions because I can't call out directly to Postgres. So the complexity is like through the roof because of that Vercel limitation, which Vercel should not have that limitation. I'm sure they have a beta internally. But they shouldn't have that limitation. They should allow you to connect to your database. Let's see. In edge functions are super limited right now, and they don't need to be. Since I think, and I mean, I could be wrong, but I think Vercel uses Cloudflare Workers. They probably are working on migrating off it internally. Because you can run the worker infrastructure yourself. Not as cheaply as Cloudflare, but create org ID. Oh, am I just not sending the org ID? This is so jank. I normally nothing is this crazy, but I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm sending the org ID. Sending usage data. Okay. Run their script. Looks like we never get there. It says allowed usage undefined. So that's, I guess, our first problem. This, for whatever reason, is undefined. Get allowed usage. JSON response, internal allowed usage. Oh no, we could log the whole response. Oh, it could have an error. It could be erroring. Invalid session token. Oh, yeah, that's probably it. Oh, we should catch that. Jeez. I wasn't even catching if the user isn't authenticated. Oy. Get allowed usage response. Actually, we could do this. Error internal allowed usage. Just destructure it right away. And call this get allowed usage error. Or we'll just call it allowed usage error. I think that's good. If allowed usage error. Yeah, we could pass it through. I think it's safe. Yeah, invalid session token. Okay, let's see if that comes through properly this time. That error. Nice. So now we just need to give a session token, which means I need to get a session token, which means I need to have an account. Can I create a session token? I don't think I can create a session token very easily. All right. Checkpoint, computing AI costs. Add lib, add routes. Add a button to /admin/accounts/get that allows you to create a session, and in the resulting page shows you the session token. Cool. Let's try it. I think I have to rebuild. Let's try rebuilding without restarting next. Maybe it works. Yeah, there we go. Actions, create session. These buttons are obnoxious. Oh, wow. All right. Cool. So now we have a session token. Oh, I don't love how I have to copy this, but whatever. Okay, so now I can go to our test Anthropic proxy. Let's add as a dev dependency prompts, and then we will prompt for it. So yeah, prompts from prompts. Do I have to install types for this? I'm just gonna ask AI prompt for a session token. And I'll say you can create one from the from /admin/account/get. Cool. So that'll let me paste it, and then we have to add custom headers here. Default headers. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Ooh, did it work? Yeah, nice. Input, output. Wow, that is a pretty low cost. Nice. Oh, so cool. So cool. That page doesn't exist yet, but so cool. So how do I want to do monthly costs? There's a couple different views you could use for monthly costs. All right, well, anyway, this is working. Fix Anthropic proxy now logs API usage, checks for authentication. This is already good enough to ship, I think. Like, even if I'm not limiting people on how much AI they can use, it's like good enough that I'm tracking them so that it's obvious for me to see abuse, because I already have limits on workspace accounts. So if somebody spends $100, I'm like, okay, thanks, dude. And then I add the limits so I can like add the anti-abuse mechanisms after, you know, it'll cost me like $100, but who cares? Okay, AI usage. I wonder if that should be my focus, just to ship this. Let's add a admin page for usage. That'll make me happy. Okay, so add in admin page for monthly org AI usage /admin/org/ list AI usage. It's so cool. Like, once you have a project that's structured super well, like AI does, you know, easily 70% of this repo, easily 70% written by AI now. And that's just because it's structurally very, very simple. It's like a junior engineer has no problem in this project. But the upside is a junior engineer would mess it up. And the AI is a junior engineer that doesn't mess things up as long as you give it enough context. And like you can see that message cost me 25 cents. So I am definitely giving it a lot of reference data. I don't get this, why TypeScript keeps giving me errors and keeps needing to be reset. It's so weird. That looks pretty good. Monthly AI usage by organization. That looks perfect. The only thing I would do is add a link. On the org list page so you can kind of like find it. And then we need to do our build because we're using Next. And I should be able to see it now. Okay, so, they added it to the index already. Ooh, not a huge fan of that text. Total cost. Okay, so if I make 2 queries, I'm gonna have to get a new session token. That is hard to copy. Right. How do I do this? Bun, scripts, something. Paste. Okay. So now I have 2 AI usages. So that should add up to more. And it works. I don't love this month thing. So what can we do to make this month display better? We can modify how table displays month. Or I could modify the view. I forgot what the migration was called. AI usage initial. Date trunk as month. Convert this to an integer, 1 through 12. Let's try that. We're going to have to reset the database because although this migration isn't run on production, I do need to rerun it here. Yeah, is that good enough? Is that everything I need to do? And then I have to go through the whole process of making new requests again. Sad face. Okay, copy out the session token. Bun run. Scripts. Tests. Yeah, there we go. Paste. Generate 1. Generate 2. I will even generate 3. Throwing that money in the wind. Monthly usage. That looks like a sum. And then, yeah, month 10, which is October, which is this month. So yeah, that's pretty nice. The next step is to integrate it into the snippets website. So let me do a time check, and then I'll see if I can do that. And I think I got some code review requests too. Let's see. Let's take a look at those code review requests before I do too much. Got a couple requests here. Let's see. Okay. Lots of reviews. Okay. Step recovery. Okay. Let's see. Step recovery. Why don't I see it? Step recovery. I have never heard of this. Step recovery diode. Schematic symbol. Wow. Yeah, it's a thing. Okay. Looks good. Thank you. Kafka, I think is your name in Discord. Thank you very much. I guess I should post that I'm doing these reviews in case people care. Let's see. Nice. Oh, interesting. We got some other stuff going on. Let's see. Hey guys, is super barrier diode and Schottky diode the same? What is a super barrier diode? SBR, super barrier, high power, low switching. Yeah, maybe skip it. Super barrier diode. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. Are we running out of schematic symbols? Maybe I should take some time to just like... We've got a lot here still. Let's see. Fusible power switches. There's a lot of different types of switches. Types of switches. So SPST, SPDT, DPST, DPDT. Switch. I have to add this so that when we create sub-issues, it works well. Okay. We'll label this good first issue. Whoops. GitHub has started using JavaScript, and so this is actually a lot faster. They use JavaScript in their front end now. Sounds crazy for them to take so long to add it, but these are actually very frequently used. You can just Google kind of KiCad schematic and then look at what symbols are used in some of them to see what we're missing. Like, so there we have Schottky, LED, resistor. So we have everything in this. Let's see. There's one we don't have. That's a crystal. This guy, crystal. I think it's a crystal. Oh, that's a resonator. Let's do those. Those are really important. Create resonator symbol. Create crystal symbol. Resonator. Why is bun test failing? SVG snapshot, one failure. Normalize SVG. You can skip the normalize SVG test for now, or just update the numbers. Somebody recently changed normalization, fixing it, I think. But I'd love to get this PR in. So skipping is fine. We got a comment here. Make sure everyone will run tests. Should I do it another way? Yeah, I think if the workflow is in place, people will be reminded to run their tests because it'll fail. But I think we should be pretty explicit with scripts. If a build script runs tests, then we might run tests when e.g. building the package for release, which is fine, but it might confuse somebody. Principle of least surprise. And then new component PCB solder paste created from SMT pads. Okay, this is a good PR. This is the core PR. Nice. This is good. Okay, circuit JSON. We're going to want to remove this file. We should remove this file. We can add to git ignore as well. Okay, solder paste. Add solder paste. Okay. We shouldn't do this inside the... Oh, wait. Maybe it's... Where is this? Okay, get PCB set. Do initial port matching. What function is this called in? Do initial PCB primitive render. Yep. This is a weird place to do this. It should be done earlier. Let's look at the render phases here and see if we can find a good spot for it. Okay, these are all the render phases we go through. Let's see. So we got PCB primitive render, PCB component render. Maybe it is the best spot. We haven't had... Yeah, you know, it's a little weird because this is no longer a PCB primitive, technically, if it has a solder paste component. Yeah. So... we shouldn't have PCB primitives contain other PCB primitives. So what we can do here is not use the solder paste class at all in this class. We'll just insert the PCB solder paste JSON inside of our rendering function. You could remove the solder paste completely, the solder paste class completely in the short term for simplicity. It's just part of SMT pad rendering. When someone needs it, we can introduce the class. I think that's probably the best approach. It's okay, like, it's an okay long-term thing to have solder paste there because somebody will want to customize solder paste. But I think in the short term, like, it's just a lot of complexity and nobody's going to use it. So it's just not worth it because it just becomes more to maintain. Basically, like, core, the classes and the React components are this high level API, and then the circuit JSON is the compiled code. And so in your high level API, you don't need to support everything that the compiled code lets you do. You actually want to support less to keep a more minimal API surface. And until people want to customize the soldering paste, I don't think there's any reason to do it. Somebody will want to customize solder paste eventually, but not right now. This is good. This looks good. So a way to improve this code is just to do circuit.db PCB solder paste. This should be automatically inferred if circuit JSON is up to date. Dot list, and then you get types with this too. So it's really nice for types. Pastes. Or we could just say solder paste, extract the first element. Actually, yeah, let's do this. Hold on. Just better for typing, and it's equivalent. Whoops. Okay. Good stuff, though. I'm glad to see people understand core. Definitely some good shit to know core. Okay, any response? I see some stuff's happening. Removed circuit JSON. Okay, cool. So I'll wait on the rest of that. I think I've submitted my review. It's a pretty small PR. Yeah, and we could argue over whether or not solder paste should be an explicit thing, but like it's not even being used in the examples, so I think like it's better to just kind of do the compilation without a new class, because classes create a lot of complexity with how they're dependent on each other. And that's it for reviews. So let me check my time here. What I want to do is get that snippets API working for everybody, but I don't think I have time. Okay. So I think I will switch off, and what we'll do is hopefully when I come back, if I can come back online, what I'll do is make this work for snippets.tscircuit.com so everybody can start using the AI to create circuits, and we'll also show that balance up there. That's going to require some new endpoints too. So I will work towards that. But before that, we got a response. Let's check it out. Cool. Nice. I like it. Dude, we should totally merge. I love it. Let's merge. Rocket. Rocket. This is so cool. So what this PR does is it makes it so that... Oh, sorry. Shibo is in chat. It needs the SMT pad ID to be created. Hey, did I miss my review already? Probably. Sorry, guys. I don't know why I put away chat, especially when I'm like looking at people's stuff. But for everybody who's tuning in who wasn't having their stuff reviewed, Shibo's PR makes it so that snapshots are generated for every schematic symbol. It looks amazing. So when we go to review, we always see the snapshot. We know if somebody broke a bunch of stuff. I mean, it's just incredible, right? It's so cool. So all of these snapshots are generated. Okay, so that's one thing. It's also, that's a nice artifact for people who just want to download this, right? Isn't this a nice artifact? You can literally just download all the SVGs. So incredible. Love it. It's so great. I mean, just having these so formatted, it's like whew, amazing. Okay, so Shibo said it needs the SMT pad ID. Right, so yeah, let's take a look at this. So in our render function for SMT pad, we need the SMT pad ID. You should be able to get this. So where is it? I'm just gonna open this up. The PR number is 136. So GHPR checkout 136. Never mind. Okay, you got it. You got it. Cool. Okay. Very cool. All right, guys. wanted to do a longer stream, but I've got a date. I've got a breakfast date, so I'm gonna embark on that. AI on snippets.tscircuit.com will come end of day today, and hopefully we'll build some keyboards. Maybe I do no React component and no class, just insert to DB at SMT render face. Shibo, 100%, exactly. Yes, that's what I would recommend. It'll be super, super simple that way. Yeah, you don't need the React component. You can leave it in props if you want. Like that's not a big deal because it won't show up. Those are just like available. It kind of indicates future work. That's fine. Props and Circuit JSON are more like specifications than the implementation. They're just like the spec. So you can leave it there if you want, but I would, no React component is probably fine. And we'll figure out, somebody will come to us and they'll be like, I need to customize my soldering paste. And then we'll be like, okay, well, what's the best way to do that? And it might be like SMT pad might just have a flag, hand solder, right? And then we expand the size, right? So there's a lot of ways to do it in a really ergonomic way for users. And ultimately, the React code should be kind of ergonomic. Basically, we have tiers of ergonomicness. Circuit JSON is not ergonomic. It's compiled. It's like assembly code. It's not ergonomic. The React in class layer is starting to be ergonomic. It does auto routing and all this stuff. And then people will build higher level components. We'll also introduce some higher level components that make everything really ergonomic, where it's like crazy. Like you specify processor and then it just puts a processor down. So that's kind of how that works. But let's get this committed. So month fix list AI usage for orgs. Okay. And that's going to be it. I want to build the keyboard today. So at some point later today, I will probably do another stream that will actually be uploaded because this was the only closed source thing that we really have in general. Again, because of the authentication logic and stuff like that. So later today, I'll post it to TS Circuit blog. But thanks for tuning in.